Hello there, my name is David Royce and this is the Rotary in Action podcast and we are live at Expo 2020. With us we have Illac Diaz.
Hello.
Illac, thank you so much for coming here. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about who Illac is and this is going to be mind-blowing information. Illac Diaz is a Rotarian from Makati Business District in Manila, RI District 3830. Illac Diaz is the founder of Litter of Light project, which provides clean and sustainable hand-built lights to millions of homes around the world. Around the world, countless people do not have access to electricity. In the Philippines alone, 30% of the population have no access to electricity or experience spontaneous blackouts at home. To answer this problem, social entrepreneur Illac founded Litter of Light. The movement has spread to 15 countries, including India, Nepal, and Bangladesh.
Yeah, we're ready to install. En masse, finally. Not one or two, but like really impact. This is what you call scaling already. When you've taught already people how to do it, how to replicate it, the social entrepreneur model, and now you could see what scaling is with volunteers and materials. There are people that are replicating this that I've never met before, but they're doing impact in places I've never been before. So that's the power of giving it to the people and giving it to young people who want to make a difference.
Not only do these simple tools provide light to communities, it also provides people economic opportunity and improves living conditions. And what's even better, Litter of Light has now partnered with UNESCO. And to top it all off, he is also in the 2021 list for Asia's most influential people. Thank you so much for joining the Rotary in Action podcast. We are excited to hear more about you.
Thank you very much. As you know, how I deal with Rotary is the fact that I always say I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, and when giants lift you, you get up higher. So it's not me, but it's this huge community of people that engage, but at the same time support. It's a family.
That's so wonderful. Rotary is an excellent platform that brings people together for so many years, and for you to branch out from Rotary and do so many wonderful things is a testament to how wonderful and how much Rotarians can change the world. And with that, I want to ask you a few questions about where you started from, how your journey started, and just a little bit about who you are.
Well, I'm from the Philippines, and I think a very important part there was my grandfather. He was a Rotarian. I'm the third generation in Rotary.
Okay.
And I remember when I was addressing my grandfather, and he was very proud. And I'll tell you more about that project. But I said, how are you, being a businessman and at the same time having time to have a family? He had 12 children, right? And at the same time do work for the community. And he said he was a businessman and very successful. He said, many people regard business as really having the minimum capital and winning by having the most return. And he said Rotary is something different. It's about expanding your leadership. When you don't take care of your employees, your business will not prosper. They are the human resource. When you don't take care of society outside, you can't be prosperous where everybody else is not gaining. But the most important to him, because he was an avid outdoors guy, is the environment. You cannot destroy the environment because that's several generations that it will be destroyed and needs to regenerate.
Absolutely.
So the broader concept of leadership is what Rotary had in him. And so he took care of his family, he took care of his employees, he took care of the environment, and of course made society better. So everybody around could have these gains. It was a win-win situation for him, and that's where I felt I wanted to be part of that, the stories of that.
That's so wonderful. I can see the values that your grandfather and the Rotary family has embedded in you. And now leading on to the main question, can you tell us more about the Litter of Light project? and how you started this and where it's such a global movement now. Can you tell us more about this project?
Well, once again, I want to start it with a little bit of a story, because my way of viewing the world was my grandfather's and with the Rotary in Manila. And this was one of the things that he was more excited about, which was this end polio. End polio, as you know, started in the Philippines with a few drops, and that one has gone around the world. So I really had the view that innovation can come from anyone and anywhere to make a difference. So it was not just something that you copy, but you can really come up with something that, if you know poverty and you think that you have something to make a difference, try it, because your idea can change the world.
The World Health Organization on Friday, June 11, declares the end of the polio outbreak in the Philippines, nearly 2 years after it re-emerged in September 2019. WHO representative to the Philippines, Dr. Rabindra Abeyasinghe, says the containment of polio in the country is a major win for public health and an excellent example of what collective efforts can attain even in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. The DOH says vaccination played a key role in eradicating the polio outbreak in the Philippines. On September 19, 2020, the Health Department declared a polio epidemic after it recorded a case of the disease in Lanao del Sur. From 2019 to 2020, during the time of the outbreak, the Philippines had 17 cases of polio. No deaths were recorded. The country was declared polio-free since October 2000, with the last case of polio virus reported in 1993.
And so this end polio for my grandfather was world-changing from the Philippines. And at the same time, other great ideas also came, which also helped change society. So Liter of Light was basically me looking at energy poverty. 13 million, as you said, from the Philippines, and many more don't have access to electricity. And so when I was going to the many poor areas, I saw that the women cooperatives would have a drum of kerosene. That was their business. They would get the drum, they would travel 4 hours to the city, fill it up every other week, then travel 4 hours back, and then sell it by bottle. You put the wick inside, light it up. But it's toxic. It takes 35% of the income of the community, or gasoline, whichever, but it's carbon-based. And when solar came along, we started buying some solar and giving it. But we realized that by importing patented and expensive solar, these communities would use it for a year and a half, and it was designed to break nickel, cadmium, because you had to ship it, right? So you had to put it in a box, a container, a ship, then pass through customs. So almost 50% of it was just logistics. So I felt that all the parts were here. The solar panels was readily available. The plastic bottle, we didn't have to use injection, it was thrown away. LEDs for motorcycles and radio parts, like resistors and MOSFET. And so you could actually build it with the community. So with the Rotary villages, we started teaching them to move from kerosene into solar. So renting out the solar lights and earning from it rather than selling kerosene. One of the benefits of it really was, we would see a lot of children with third-degree burns. They would sleep, they would twist around, and this thing would fall on them. But the most exciting thing there was, as we were successful with the villages, Rotary started saying, how come we can't do it here? Give us the capacity to do what you're doing. Let us volunteer, not just for food, for water, but this light poverty. And help environment, but help also in saving energy for these communities. And so I taught them the same way that I did with the women cooperatives. And it grew so big, like everybody wanted to be a solar engineer, basically. Everybody knew that for 30 minutes of your time, you could solve energy poverty for 5 years, 10 hours a day, by charging it every day. And the woman could move into this clean economy, right? So that was the beauty of this whole thing. And from there, we moved around the world, around the Philippines, and then around the world to presently 32 countries, the farthest being Chile. And engaging everyone without having to transport the materials to be ambassadors of light, working with women cooperatives.
That is so powerful. This little device, can you hold it up?
So yeah, I mean, this is how it works. Let me show you. Let me show you a very easy technique. So you think that solar has to be, you know, complicated, but you could see that the women could actually check if it's charging. So this is charging. This is not charging, right? And you would think that it's a very complex piece, but actually your circuit is only made out of a few parts. So we designed it that the battery and the panel would be balanced, and if it senses sunlight, that the power would go to the battery and not to the LED. And then at night, when you don't have to put it in, you can do it. So
Okay.
if you break the bulb, you go to your motorcycle shop, and then you can change the 12 watt LED, 12 volt LED. And so if you break a part, you just, you know, as I said, we have so many parts, even from used electronic stuff, that you can actually replicate it. So we use PVC, but from recycled bottle caps and hard plastics. In Morocco, we use pottery. In Dominican Republic and many islands, we use bamboo. So the point there is you can come up with your own solar business. And the key there is if the woman cooperative, the woman in the most remote village cannot repair it, fix it or scale it, then it doesn't, you know, it cannot be replicable.
Right. So you've taken this little device and now it's all over the world. Can you tell me how your personal journey has been with this project and taking it throughout the world?
So we really thought about scaling, right?
Yeah.
And how do you scale when there is no large philanthropic fund to be able to do that? And the idea really was to put the idea in millions of hands, right? Not to patent the technology that only one factory can do it. And those hands are Rotarians. The Rotary learned how to do it, so trained the trainer. We learned how to make the lights. We learned how to repair it. And then we sent these trainers to the villages to be able to train them how to maintain it. We also, what we did was each community built up a certain number of what you would call, let's say 100 solar lamps. And this would start up solar lamps. We would give it to the community. Once renting it, if they make money, they can buy more, or Rotary can donate more. So each chapter built the lights and gave the first seed funding, light funding if you want to call it, light startup, to be able for them to shift their economy from kerosene into green technology. And the women cooperatives took care of it. And you know, over time, they were able to buy more and more and more, so that they were able to even help and franchise it to communities around it. So it's been wonderful that today we help about 1 million people a year. And
Wow.
I don't have to be there because Rotary and the technicians and of course other partnerships know how to build it, know how to source it. And so I think that my formula for success, because it's so big the problem, is come up with the technology, empower Rotarians, but also make them obsolete. Make it so good that your beneficiaries can be able to maintain it and scale it without you. So that way you know that you've empowered them rather than them wait for you.
Can you give us an example of one of the countries that has really adopted this and you've seen a massive change in the whole community? Can you give us an example of one of those?
So there are two successes for us. One success is local. So when the first Category 5 typhoon hit the country, its winds were 350 kilometers per hour. Basically, it's so strong that, you know, it's the takeoff velocity of airplanes. It's so strong that for hundreds of kilometers, the heads of coconuts would just snap off. It was the first landfall, right?
We need shelter, food, light.
Ang mga puno ay nag-iiyakan sa labas, mahirap makabili ng petrolyo.
unti-unti ko na mayroon ng hope, sa dami nung tumutulong sa amin, and then the light has come, andito na po, hawak-hawak ko na po.
There was a problem because they couldn't import lights fast enough. I mean, these are from China and India. You have to make an order, it will last for 5 months. The place was out of light for 1 year. There were 20-foot waves that destroyed it. So, crime against women and children, people bringing food, money, even water, walking in the dark. They would get, sometimes robbed or even worse. Children on tents sometimes would be burnt as well because, you're using kerosene. And so Rotary from that area helped me bring the materials in, and then we empowered the women to be able to build it. That's the secret sauce. You have to make it so good that they will be able to maintain it. Of course, they will also make a business. And so we grew from just 100 to 7,000 in 3 months, 7,000 tents without importing a single, manufactured good. The other one is Brazil. So every year, for about 2-3 weeks, I'm in the Amazon, and we're teaching women communities in the islands. They only have 6 hours of generator every day, even worse, right? If they have this.
You're talking about the Amazon.
The Amazon in
jungles?
Brazil, yeah. So I go deep into the river, and of course I have volunteers to help women communities to be able to learn how to make solar lights. We find out in each community the nearest city and where to buy the parts, so that if there's any problem, they can go and get it. Even better, they can go get the parts and make a solar light without us having to even, be there, right? So instead of us being there, they can do it themselves.
So it's going into the community and talking to the women cooperatives and enabling them to even handle the project after you're gone.
Yeah.
And find the parts, and that way they'll educate the next generation also, and so it's sustainable what you guys are doing.
And replicable.
Can you explain what you mean by that? Meaning one teaches the other? Is that what you mean?
What's interesting about Rotary in the Philippines is we now enable each person or each club to be able to know how to build the solar lights.
Okay.
So as I said, in case of large-scale emergencies, I don't have a factory. It's all built by by sweat equity, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very quick reaction by getting the concern of Rotary, but at the same time the capacity of Rotary to come together in these superstorms. The other one is, as I said, all the parts, we make sure that it's designed for each country, so that Rotarians there or Rotary working with our NGOs over there will be able to build it. Now there's different ones. We have a mobile charging system. So this is lesson 101. We have a mobile charging system, and just like Yemen, where we built thousands of streetlights, we also can teach you how to light up your streets.
You mentioned about Yemen. Can you give us a little more information about what you're talking about?
So Yemen, of course, had a lighting or energy sourcing problem. So we, working with Pepsi, we were able to get funds and basically teach communities in Yemen, mostly youth, how to build solar lights by hand.
لتر من نور من المشاريع النبيلة اللي بتنفذها شركة بيبسيكو حول العالم، واللي اليوم احنا كيمنيين بنفخر ان احنا بننفذها في اليمن بالشراكة مع شركة مشروعات الصناعية اليمنية ومؤسسة همة شباب للتنمية.
لتر من نور عبارة عن مشروع بنجمع فيه العبوات البلاستيكية، بنضيف لها تكنولوجيا تبع الليد، وبنحاول بنهاية المطاف ان احنا نطلع فعلا بإنارات تضيء المنازل، تضيء المناطق المجاورة.
Yemen is the perfect place to roll out this project. The project is not just about recycling plastic bottles or lighting homes. It is also a project that empowers the community to come together through education, training, and a spirit of unity.
And so we were able to right away, without having to move cargoes from around the world, we were able to light it up with PVC pipes, plastic bottles to stop the rain and the insects from coming in, and we were able to light the streets of Yemen, especially during this type of war. What's interesting is we are replicating this around in communities in need, right? Not only energy, but communities in crisis, even in Bangladesh. So this kind of technologies, as I said, is it more powerful to wait for a powerful philanthropist to donate or government? Or like in Asia, the power of the people is what I value. So that one, for me, having this army of change makers has always been part of my process in making change. Rather than asking a big amount from everybody, I ask for a small amount and your time.
Okay, and you go by the saying 30 minutes of your time?
30 minutes of your time is 5 years worth of light for for a home. A light, a mobile charger, or street lights.
So this, after they build it, how long does this light last?
So it will last for 5 years. And then you can change the batteries. So the battery is designed 18650. These are present all over the world because they use it for vape. I hope you don't vape, but we designed it. Some are recycled cell phones. So many people around the world, if it's only 60% charged, they throw the cell phone away. So that still has enough charge to be able to be used, the lithium ion. So we are using a lot of waste materials to be able to have a second life.
So this is the solar panel.
Yeah.
And I believe it goes up this way into the roof of the homes.
Oh, so you're talking about two different things. So
okay.
There's liter of light during the day.
Okay.
And there's liter of light at night.
Okay.
Okay. So if it's really a poor community, we use a simple plastic bottle full of water and 3 drops of bleach. The bleach stops the singular cell growth. And so when you lock it, the water remains pure. We put half of the bottle on the roof and half below. So by refraction, the light from the top of the roof goes inside the house and lights up the house like a 50-watt bulb. So that's during the day.
Okay.
Liter of light at night is to take those savings, right? So in 1 month, that person is not using a light bulb, a candle to light up his house. That savings is translated to savings to be able to rent liter of light at night. So we have a daylight, which is a simple, it's a simple roof light. It's a solar, roof tunnel, right? They call it a light tunnel.
Just an attachment into the roof.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And of course, you have to put it properly. So you have a way. You call it a flushing, so that the water does not go in. And the nice thing there is we use carpenters to be able to earn an extra living to install roof lights. So that one saves people from having to turn their lights on during the day. Now, where does this work? It works in urban areas where people attach their houses together. So you have a house, and then somebody gets married. They use the same wall, and then they put another roof. But next thing you know, the whole place is a sea of iron sheets. So it's almost contrary to logic that you live in a tropical place, but people don't have access to light under this sea of metal sheets. And you see this in India, and you see this in the Philippines, but you cannot imagine how dark it is
inside
under, right?
Yeah.
It's a whole layer. And so this liter of light during the day allows people to have with $1 have a way to have a roofing light. And
here we're here to talk about getting this forward, because this requires us to work together as a group,
right?
And this can be used for 5 years, right?
Right.
And this is fascinating. I really want to understand how we can get the community involved. Now, we are at Expo, and this place is where the world comes together. And Rotary International is here, and it's such a blessing. And I want to understand how we can bring the community together, UAE together, the Rotarians together and come together to build these lights so that we can give to more people around us, our neighbors who are suffering without light. I want to find out a way. What do you think you have in mind for getting this into the grassroots level in Dubai and UAE and Expo?
Let's start with my own home court, right? The District 3830.
Yeah.
And my district governor, Mache Torres Ackerman, had a Rotary Day. And she said, what can we do instead of just having like round tables and speeches? What can we do that has a transformative value? So I said, why don't we get all the Rotarians to build solar lights by hand and make the largest message that was important, which was end polio, right? So we had hundreds of Rotarians coming together, learning how to build solar lights, having challenges. But you see, the nice thing about building solar lights together is some are better than others. So once one builds it, they go and help because it's a community. It's not competitive in a way. And so they were able to build hundreds and hundreds of solar lights for the Aeta community, that's our indigenous tribe. And we made one of the largest, I would say, hand-built solar signs in the world. You could see it from 500 meters up and they all stood there. So that's where I knew that in the AMEA region, coming together is so important. Family is so important. It's a very different way that we can express how we do things. A little bit together is a lot, makes a big impact. A little bit of donation each together is more powerful sometimes. And so we came here, not with Rotary, but I was invited to break the world record over here. And so what I did, I took hundreds of Emirati children from different schools from the 7 states. And what I did is I asked them to come together and through the power of, through the power of volunteerism, through the power of simple skills, make the largest, a tribute to Sheikh Zayed, of course, in the whole country. And that one won a world record with Masdar. Now we can do something even bigger. We, here at the World Expo, our booths are right next to each other, so I am part of the Expo Live. Expo Live are change makers from around the world with ideas that can make a difference. So 11,000 people submitted applications. Only 140 are part of that booth. And so I'm, a Rotarian and at the same time a Filipino change maker. So before coming here with our district, we wanted to show what we wanted to do, which was make the largest rotary wheel in the world. So solar rotary wheel in the world. So we all came together, built it, and we're able to do this huge image. And we're thinking, why not do it here? If we can find, as I said, it's my first time to be able to know that Rotary office was in fact my neighbor. I came upon it by chance. We want to do a big rotary wheel here at the World Expo, but it has to be done with this sweat equity. It cannot be something that it just ends up there. It doesn't have that personal touch. And Rotary is about action. It's about people coming together, if necessary, working with their hands, spending their time. And so it has that unique formula that makes this kind of work unique.
What's your vision? What would be the best possible thing that we can do?
Well,
together?
we just wanted to make the rotary wheel,
Okay.
but as I said, that will be an introduction. And if you want, we can make something bigger at the end of the year and break the world record again. And, I mean, with Rotary, it's limitless, right? But of course, with present challenges. But the initial thing is to start small and to start humble, and so I would like Rotarians, maybe we can have some workshop days where people can come together and do something small and meaningful. As I said, I light up Senegal, I light up Kenya. So afterwards, the circuits can go to these places. And then, of course, imagination is open of how we can work together. But I'm so happy that we crossed paths, and that somehow the concept from the Philippines of Liter of Light can somehow find a way to connect with Rotary Dubai, which is awesome because there's so many businessmen, and there's so many Rotaracts that are here. And as I said, Expo, it happens every 20 years in one place. So what are we going to do today? And my feeling is Rotary can be that light that changes the world, right? So, but solar.
That's so wonderful, because Rotary in the UAE is so well established, and there are so many of us that are Rotarians and Rotractors, and we have so many events, and we're always looking for more ways to serve. And an idea like this can come very well with our whole community of Rotarians, Rotractors, Interactors in the UAE, and I truly believe that we can take this forward in a very nice way.
Yes, as I said, you know, the more you do something good, the more incredible sometimes your life story will become. And now I am the Philippine representative and a Rotarian here at the World Expo. So that's a new journey for me, and I'm looking to see, you know, how to really capitalize on it.
I'm so happy you've joined us, Illac. I truly believe that this synergy that we have today is going to go viral in Expo and really spark the imagination of the Rotary family internationally to come together and expand this project even more than it is now. And I'm really happy that you're here with us. From the Association of the Rotary Clubs of the UAE, I really want to give you a big thanks for joining us. And really personally, I want to say thank you for the energy that you put out towards your mission to educate people and to really inspire change in the society. I'm really looking forward to the workshop, because I want to learn how to make this. I'm going to teach my family as well, and I want to take it back to my places back in India and teach more people. So I'm going to attend the workshop, and we're going to connect again.
You know, it's a spark. It starts with a spark, and that spark can, you know, set this kind of ambition to light up the world. And I started from the Philippines and went around the world. And as you know, it's not about me teaching, but it's me replicating it. So any way to replicate it to people here, and any way that, you know, as I said, we have 2 pavilions here. We have Rotary and we have the Expo Live. These are great workshop centers where we can spark that imagination.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to hearing more from you about the story. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes. We'll connect soon.